What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Now, tomorrow is a big day for Juventus and a big day for Juve fans, and even more so for Max Allegri. He goes up against his former club in a monster showdown in a must-win situation for Juventus against Milan. And then, of course, we have some other things that we have to talk about. Some rumors out there about the potential extension of Rabiot after his performance against Maccabi Haifa. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro, and today it is Friday, October 7th, 2022. Of course, I got your latest rundown of all things Juventus. Before we do anything though, do me a solid favor, help me out, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, of course hit that bell icon, stay notified for all of our latest videos. But the most important aspect of those three things right now is make sure you're hitting that like button. It really helps this channel to continue to grow, to bring you more and more fun content as well each and every step of the way. Without any further ado though, today I'm just going to get into it. We got to talk about some of these rumors and some of the news that's coming out when it comes to your old lady. All right, very first up, let's go ahead and talk about this situation, which is actually a positive situation for Juventus, though there's some negativity that I have to say going along with it. You're on the channel. You know what comes with it, right? Anyway, Mirko Nicolino has an update for Juventus saying that with 51 million euros incoming, Juventus is the only Italian club in the European top 10 for revenues from a technical sponsor. Adidas, obviously, getting a very, very lucrative deal with Adidas for that. And it's a miracle in the historic moment, he says, to be ahead of clubs such as Liverpool and Tottenham that are getting 35 million from Nike, and then of course the 9 million from Bayern, who are getting 60, I guess, from Adidas. So, or they're only 9 million away from Bayern getting 60 million. Sorry, that's some positive things, right? The only negative thing I would say coming out of this is I would say, what kind of financial situation, how much worse would the financial situation be for Juventus if it weren't for deals like this? Obviously, maybe some sponsorships with Jeep and whoever else they have right now. When you look at the money lost and the money gained, instead of 200 million, are we looking closer to 300 million euros in debt? Is that where we're at? Anyway, but good thing for Juventus. Good deal with Adidas. It's another reason why Juve are probably never going to go back to a Nike or anything like that. You're looking at Adidas for the foreseeable future. And as long as the money sits right, it makes sense, right? All right, let's continue on, though. And let's go ahead and talk about the rumors about one player at Juventus that potentially there were some feelings that maybe he was unhappy. Maybe it's time to move on. Well, let's put that to rest right now. Manuel Locatelli is the guy at the center of this. CalcioMercato.com is talking about saying that despite the rumors linking Manuel Locatelli back to Arsenal, this is the second time I've done this in, 2 weeks? I think, or at least a week and a half. I talked about recently the idea that potentially Vlahovic was having some, regrets and not going to Arsenal as well. Well, I think Arsenal people are out there trying to fabricate more information and trying to say that, oh, no, they wanted to go to Arsenal. Now they really wish they would have gone to Arsenal. No, they didn't. No, they didn't, bro. No, they did not. Anyway, going off of that, Locatelli to Arsenal, the player has no intention of leaving Juventus to go to the Premier League. Locatelli had already rejected an offer from Manchester United last summer. Stop trying to come for our boy. Manuel Locatelli, though right now he is in a rough patch, he needs to get back into whatever kind of form he had at Sassuolo, and of course that we saw with the national team for Italy. But all the same, he's Juve through and through. Don't come at our boy. Don't make us come at you. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's continue on. Max Allegri had some comments going into this Milan match before we get to the big story of the day, guys. Hold on, bear with me. Max Allegri has some comments. So going into the match against Milan, and here's what he had to say. First up, he says, we are playing against the Italian champions. It will be an even more difficult game because they come from a major defeat. There are all the conditions, however, to do well. Those conditions he's talking about are all the injuries, all the players that they're missing right now. They're in the mud as well. We'll say that. Juve in the mud, but Juve are, I'm trying not to be that guy. I don't want to be it. It's cringy. I'm not trying to be Homer sports talk, right? I don't want to do that. There is a bit of homerism because this is a Juve channel, right? If we're being honest, this is a Juve channel. Love Juve, want to see Juve do well. But at the same time, don't want to do Homer stuff where I just think, well, because we had a good moment and they're in a bad moment, it's okay. And when I say a good moment, I mean 2 games. 2 games. Let's not forget where we were 2 weeks ago before the season restarted. Let's not do the buyback all the way in right now. Let's keep it real. Let's be honest where Juve is. Juve is still, quote unquote, what I would put as in the gutter when it comes right now for what I expect. My expectations are for the club. So we'll see. Can he get them in a bad moment? Unfortunately, though, Juve are going to be without Di Maria. They're going to be without Pogba. They're going to be without Chiesa. All the big names, obviously, that they've been without for a while. But Di Maria, who did a stupid thing against Monza, will be out once again, especially after he had 3 assists last match. And he looked good, and he was cooking for 4 or 5, if we're being honest. It's unfortunate that he will miss out because of a stupid, boneheaded decision to throw some bows the other day, or a couple weeks ago. All right, continues on to say, Bonucci should be back. Milik is feeling much better. He should be available to enter the field, but we will have to evaluate that after the training session. Now that is a magnificent boost and some good news. Yesterday on the After Dark show, we talked about the potential of starting this lineup with Vlahovic and Moise Kean. If you're telling me Milik is back, and I know people, crush me if you will. I know my talk about Milik before, and it's funny how much I've flipped on a dime right now for Milik, but your boy is good. He's one of the most efficient offensive threats that Juve have right now. So good to see if he could be back and be ready to go. Next up, he says, tomorrow's a good game, and we have to bring home the result. They are good. Thank you, Max Allegri. Thank you for that eloquent speech of how good they are. Thank you. We had no idea that Milan's a good team. They're good. They have Leao, who can change the game. San Siro, when full, pushes the team a lot, so we have to deliver a high-level performance. Oh, yes, so that was a big nothing burger from Max Allegri, with this coach speak, which is what I expect a lot of the time. He goes on to say, though, we have to avoid Milan playing in the open field. We have to be good at blocking the counters. We must not give space to Leao. But they also have players like Giroud, CDK, I'm not even going to try to say his name, very technical, so we have to have an all-around performance. I'll be honest, I will give a tiny bit of credit here to Max Allegri, a guy who I've been pretty upfront with crushing on my opinions about multiple times, shying away or not actually showing that he has any kind of plan when he goes into games. First time he's actually made statements instead of saying just we stuff. You know what I mean? Like we have to control the ball. We have to score. Just stuff like that. Like just he'll usually give you the small little increments of nothing. And that's what he kind of says going into matches. This time he actually said a little bit more about the game plan. And I get it. It's still a little bit cookie cutter, but I at least appreciate that he drew more attention into certain players. Maybe it's just because Milan's one of the only team he can pay attention to. Maybe he pays as much attention to Bologna as I do. Or who, Monza as I do. Maybe that's what it is. But anyway, tiny bit, just a tiny bit of, okay, there's at least something out there about the game plan. We'll see if he can actually make that come to fruition. But again, that's where I am at this point. That's the standards I have right now. Okay, let's continue on. He also said, I can only congratulate Pioli for the job he has done for winning the championship because Milan haven't won it in a long time. The numbers are on their side, but we will definitely give a good performance. Again, more coach speak, but I do have one comment on this statement as well, which I personally thought was humorous. Maybe I give him props for not saying it, but like, you know what he wanted to say, right? You know what Max Allegri wanted to say in the circumstance. He wanted to go out there and be like, it's also the thing that a losing coach kind of does when you kind of back him into a corner a little bit. So that's why one reason I give him props, because he didn't do this. But he could have literally threw out his accolades and said they haven't won it since I was there. They haven't won it since I won it back in 2010-11. That's what he could have done. And he didn't do that. So props to him for not doing that. But I guess he kind of hinted at it, but he didn't upfront just say, remember, I was the last one to win there. Remember, I've won all this stuff at Juve. Stuff like that. That's usually what a corner dog does, a coach who's about to get fired that has their head on the chopping block. That's what they do. Take that for what you will. If you think it's a negative thing, because he feels comfortable enough to not have to do that. I don't know. All right, let's actually get into some of the news from what we have. Obviously, we're going to get into the Rabiot stuff, but before that, we have formation talks. Now that Max Allegri talked about Milan, here are some of the reports out there of what exactly Juventus could go with in the formations. Well, Sky Sports reporting saying that Allegri could play a 3-5-2. We've talked about that here on the channel, about the potential of that happening. He says with Vlahovic and Milik in the attack, possible changes in defense and midfield, with Alexandro Meretti and Weston McKennie all hoping to start. That's one look at it. 3-5-2 could work, obviously, whenever you have Bonucci and guys like that injured. Bremer's good, and he knows how to play a three-man defense. That's okay. That's good. The only other thing I take out of that is, like, as much as I love my compatriot, Weston McKennie, do we need to start Weston McKennie? I guess right now, if it's a necessity, especially given the players that are out there. Rabiot actually had a good game last game. Again, Weston McKennie, do we need to do that? I guess if the other option is Cuadrado, that's fine, but we'll see. All right, the other part of this, though, is another formation outlook brought to you by Gazzetta dello Sport, who's reporting that against Milan, Juve will change the shape from the 4-3-3 in the Champions League match to a more Julian, this is for you, compact 4-4-2, while trying to play the same as they did against Bologna and Maccabi Haifa. The report out there that they have is Tech obviously starting in goal with Danilo, Bonucci, Bremer, and Sandro. That's to be expected. And then you got Weston McKennie, Paredes, Rabiot, and Kostic there in the midfield with Vlahovic and Milik in the attack. It's a 4-4-2. It's generic kindergarten football, I guess, at that point. But what are your thoughts about that? What do you think about starting this lineup? You see some offensive threats. Obviously, Weston McKennie, for him to be even useful, for him to be a meaningful piece of this team, he has to be an offensive threat. He has to actually get in the box and actually try to deliver on some headers. Paredes, do your thing. Do be what I would say, quote unquote, floor general, though that's usually something you probably say in basketball, but you know what I mean. Be that guy. Do ball out as a regista. Rabiot, can you do what you did last time? And then Kostic, can you just do something? Can you actually deliver a damn ball? Can we be honest? You had 4. You had 4 against Maccabi Haifa. Against Maccabi Haifa, 4. And I understand I am harsh on Kostic, but come on, right? All right. And then Milik, Vlahovic, do your thing. And then the last part of this is the news that you all were here for. Let's go ahead and get it out, or let's do it. Let's talk about it. Tuna Sports now reporting that Juventus are now reportedly considering renewing Adrien Rabiot's contract. The player was expected to leave the Bianconeri next summer, but now it's likely that he could stay. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Let's just say it right now. I'm not buying. This seems a little bit too early, honestly, for any kind of reports about a renewal or anything like that. I understand that right now, Rabiot, we've kind of talked about it here on the channel, that Rabiot was an integral piece of what Juventus is trying to do here for at least the next few months and probably for the rest of the year, especially because he is the son of Max Allegri, right, basically. But at the same time, can we be realistic? I feel like Adrien Rabiot already kind of deballed himself last summer. But if you're going to tell me that Adrien Rabiot was trying to trying to leave Juventus and go to Manchester United, Mama Rabiot, Veronique is a problem. She's an issue. But he's trying to leave Juventus and go to Manchester United, and they were offering around 10 million euros, and that wasn't enough for him to take it. That he is going to somehow lower his demands to renew at Juventus. If Juventus were to renew him somewhere around the 7 million euro range that he's already getting paid, you've lost your damn minds. And also, it just doesn't fit the narrative. Nothing about a renewal of Rabiot fits the narrative for Juventus outside of the Max Allegri likes Rabiot. That's the only thing that fits for me. Adrien Rabiot, congratulations on the brace that you had against Maccabi Haifa. It was a year and a half since you scored last. Show me some kind of consistency for it to even be worthwhile. But at the same time, something that I do need to go back on, and what I'm saying is the amount of money that you're requesting, if you flip on a dime, like I said, I flipped on a dime for Milik, but if you're flipping and you're coming in this next Mercado and you're saying, okay, I'm willing to take a pay cut, those two things don't add up. They don't make sense. Were there other issues going on with Manchester United that you wouldn't take 10 million euros from them, but somehow you're willing to take less at Juventus? If so, cool, but it doesn't make sense. I doubt it. Call doubt. Hit the doubt button. That's what I'm doing. I'm doubting Adrien Rabiot. I'm doubting reports of Juventus trying to renew him because he doesn't fit with what Arriva Bene and what Cherubini want to do with this program, which is lower the wage bill and fix the financial situation. Adrien Rabiot does not fit that. Doesn't make sense. I'll believe it when I see it. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you agree or do you with my line of thinking, and do you also believe that it's really a possibility that Adrien Rabiot could renew with Juve. Let me know in the comments if you haven't already. Do me a solid favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. You can follow me at Justin Sofro, Twitter, Instagram. Oh, I guess Twitter. Me, just Twitter. And you can also follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri. Say hello to your old lady for me.